Welcome, and I greet you now in the love and light of the One Infinite Creator. I wish to do a tarot reading for you all. These are general readings. Take what feels right, spit all the rest out. With all that being said, I'm just going to make sure the deck is shuffled, and then we'll get into your cards. Okay. Your major energy, the lovers. You have a strong relationship going on, you know. That's a good sign, you know. You've done enough inner work that you have manifested something very positive for yourself. So give yourself a pat on the back, because also some people, like myself, have never had a really good relationship in their entire life, you know. Although other people go on for 30 years, you know. My mom and my parents are an example, you know. I think they've been together for like 40 years or so, you know, and married for over 30. So, you know, that's you know, some people have gotten even farther than that, you know, 50 years married, or you know, and so on, you know. Very strong and important thing to have in life, you know. Or it shows that you're a strong person, you know, or that you've got a strong sense of self, you know, when you can, you know, when you have, you know, I don't know. It's like, it's just because the major arcana is basically, you know, tell me that, you know, you know, I don't know. The major arcanas, you know, always represent something to do with the self, you know. So your relationship could be, you know, everything to you, you know. Especially because you don't have any other major arcanas in your reading. Next, you get the Ten of Pentacles, you know, representing you being part of something, being part of a community, or maybe even a family. A community. You could have a family. This could be representing like a family, you know. But it could also represent other things like, you know, community, you know, and just in general, you know. But what I'm seeing this as is maybe, you know, you being in love and having a family, you know. You being, you know, yeah. Or at least, you know, being active in the community, and, you know, and of course having, you know, a relationship going on. The only issue here is that you're not really content with the way things have been going for you, you know. You want to, you know, this Nine of Cups energy here is in reverse. So this represents you not being happy with what you've achieved, you know, which is weird, you know, because you have so much to be thankful for with, you know, with people around you, and like, what's wrong, you know, like what what kind of experiences are you missing in life that you would be upset with yourself, you know? I wonder. You know, and I don't mean that in any weird way. I just mean, like, now that I say that, it feels weird. Sorry. You know, there wasn't any weird way, really. I didn't mean it in any weird way, but as soon as I, you know, doubt is bad, you know, and temptation is bad, you know. So don't be tempted to give up what you have, you know. Be content with who you are, you know, because you're showing up as in a very positive way, you know, and and it's not just about what you have, it's about who you are, you know. And you can transcend physical things, you know, and having even experiences. You can transcend even experiences sometimes when you have the inner world worked out, and where you love yourself, you know, and where you know. So, and with the lovers in the correct orientation, I get the sense that you love yourself, you know, and you love this relationship that you have with your partner, and this community, or this family maybe even, that you have going on, is very, very positive, you know, and it's who you are, you know. So don't be too worried about what kind of experiences you haven't had yet, you know, because the Nine of Cups could represent like experiences, um, and either having them behind you or not having them behind you yet, you know, and so, you know, it could be good to try new things, you know, but don't give up what you already have, you know, in order to get that. And that's all I really want to say, you know, and I think that's the main message here. I wonder if what you know, what kind of experiences you might. Should we pull another card? I don't know. We'll pull one more card. We'll pull a card over the Nine of Cups here. Let's pull. Let's just because I don't want to leave it like with like that without. Okay. So you get the Ten of Wands. The Ten of Wands, you can see here, sometimes can mean taking on too much, but at the same time, like, it doesn't really have to mean that. It can mean like you're getting a lot of something, like maybe you're receiving a lot of something. So you're getting, what I'm getting is that you're getting something. You're What I'm getting is that it might be, or it might be, that you have a lot of power, you know, or you're receiving a lot of power from people around you, and from, you know, your relationship, and from your relationships with other people around you, and it just in general. So you have a lot of power, you know, coming to you, you know, or not necessarily coming to you, but you or like you have a lot of you have a lot of power because of everybody around you, you know, relying on you, maybe, you know. And so it's important to use that power responsibly, and not to you know, hurt them, you know, and to make sure that you treasure what you have with them, you know, is all I'm really been trying to say, you know. You know, use the, or I don't know, you, like, the Ten of Wands is kind of confusing a little bit because I don't really like fully understand exactly what it exactly means, but I mean, like, it's like you're getting a lot of like people have given you a lot of power, you know, or the world has given you a lot of power, you know, over like your community or people around you, and over your partner, for instance. And it's just important to use that personal power, for instance, to to help people, you know, and not to focus too much on what you don't have for yourself, you know. But we could read it different ways. People could read this in a different way, read it all in different ways. But I guess, you know, hopefully the main message is there. You know, don't get lost in desire. It is important to try new things because you obviously want more experience. You know, you want to try new things a little bit, but you don't have to get rid of. Don't make sure. Just make sure you don't. Just make sure. I don't know. I don't want to tell you what to do or what not to do necessarily. You know, because you have things worked out. You know, you should know. You have things worked out. Like there's no. It's just I get the sense that maybe you're vulnerable. You're a little vulnerable to personal desire, maybe, and you're just not just a little bit upset with not being able to manifest what you want for yourself. It can be read as the Nine of Cups reversed. You know, either not being able to manifest what you really wanted, or not having, or not been, or you just haven't been through the enough experience, or no. See, I'm reading it wrong. Like, or I don't know. I don't know if I'm reading it wrong, but it's like there's multiple different pathways you can take it, you know. And I'm just trying. These readings are general. These readings are general, you know. So, you know, be mindful of that. You know, I can't. It's just it's either that you or see, the 10 of Wands didn't really help me figure out the 9 of Cups. I shouldn't have pulled the card. I shouldn't have pulled the card because it confused me. But I don't know. Like, sometimes you have to know. You have to try and so I mean, like at the end of the day, you have things already, like you already have things down pat. You know, just be careful with not to hurt people. Just because you have a lot of power. You know, and not to become selfish. Not to focus too much on yourself, because you're really at home when your relationship's working well, and I mean that with your partner as well as with people in your community. And that's the real you, I feel like. And the desire for more may be a little bit of a power trip. And you may be trying to you know take more than you need. You don't. Does he really need 10 staffs? He does not need 10 staffs. He can only wield one staff. But the same can be said for like the 9 of Cups. And yet people want to be the 9 of Cups. They want to have the 9 of Cups energy. They want to be the 9 of Cups energy, or not necessarily be the 9 of Cups energy, because I don't know if that makes sense, but like have or be. I don't know. Desire is dangerous. Temptation is dangerous. So be careful of the negative and their intent to. I feel like their intent to tempt you may be unhealthy. Namaste.